Right here, I'm tracking a family of dingoes that are no doubt watching me right now. I'm just making my way up this little freshwater creek at the moment. But what I'm gonna do now is try cook up some lunch. Let's get this fire going and cook up these pippies. And look at this down here. I think I'm gonna get in the water and see what it is. It's changed into a completely different shape. Just down there, freshwater stonefish. There we go. You can see him flapping around in there. We've made the deadliest freshwater fish tank that you can get here in Australia. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. So we're currently on an island just off the east coast of Australia, and me and my mates are camping here over the next couple of weeks. But what I told them this morning is for the next 24 hours, I'm gonna be walking off by myself, living off the land, off this island, sleeping out here and seeing what cool animals I can find along the way. Now, we decided to start this video at this massive sand dune right here, and I reckon it's gonna be a real tough environment to survive in. Now, we're actually on Fraser Island at the moment, the biggest sand island in the world. There's so many cool animals here: dingoes, venomous snakes, echidnas, kangaroos. And over this next time period, I'm gonna be living with all of them, sleeping out here in the wild. It's gonna be pretty cool. But what I'm gonna do first, because this sun's getting so hot already, I'm gonna start heading down these sand dunes and try to find some water, because that's where the animals are gonna be hiding. So let's start hunting around. 24 hours on Fraser Island, solo survival. Let's go. So what we're doing right now is we're heading kind of towards the ocean. But what I got my eyes on is just over there, there's a big gully. And what I reckon is in it is a freshwater creek. So that's where a lot of the animals are gonna be hanging out, because on these islands, it's much harder for them to get water. But literally, look at the terrain we're walking in at the moment. It's so crazy. I'm so excited to experience this place over the next 24 hours in this survival video, and then over the next week, hopefully we'll be able to film some more cool videos here. Let's keep going and find this creek. So I'm just making my way up this little freshwater creek at the moment. This island is so amazing. So many different places to explore. I reckon after it gets dark, we're gonna go out and try to find some dingoes, snakes, and maybe some other species hanging around. But yeah, I'm just enjoying this so much, walking up this little creek. And there's so many fish in here as well. These fish down here are jungle perch, which are a species that are mainly up North Queensland. Look at what we're walking through right now. Just this really thin, shallow creek. All right, the plan is to keep walking up this creek, make it out to the ocean, and try and catch some dinner over here on this beautiful island. So just as I was leaving that freshwater creek this morning, I looked out on the beach and there was actually a dingo out there. It had a tag in its ear. And to get back up into the bush, it actually had to cross this little creek. And I actually filmed a dingo swimming across this little stream. It was so cool to see him. Then I jumped up on the sand dune and he walked right underneath me. So cool coming to this place, which is famous for its dingoes, and seeing these awesome creatures up close. All right, so we found that creek, we've gone for a swim, and I've actually nearly made it out to the beach, and this is where I'm gonna be trying to catch food for this survival video. Now, I've got no resources with me to help me catch food, so what I'm gonna be doing isn't actually trying to catch something from out there in the ocean. I'm gonna be looking underneath the sand for a species known as Pippies. There'd be millions of Pippies up and down this beach, and I'm gonna teach you how to get them right now. So what we're doing is we're in the shallow water, and we're just gonna be digging our feet back and forth like that until you feel a shell. So I caught a couple Pippies. What I want to show you now is how these guys dig into the floor. It's actually crazy. They have something in their mouth called a foot, and often they'll get washed up on the beach and have to dig back down, and I'll show you how they do it. It's pretty crazy. If you ever go to the beach, dig into the sand like this, catch a Pippi and watch it dig back into the floor. It's so cool. So the cool thing about exploring in a place like this with so much sand is you can see what animals you're with by the tracks that they leave behind. Like at the moment, right here, I'm tracking a family of dingoes that are no doubt watching me right now from the bushes up here, probably sitting in the shade at this time of day. But what I'm gonna do now is try cook up some lunch, cook up these Pippies. Honestly, this has to be one of the craziest places I've ever explored and filmed a video at. And I'm definitely gonna be coming back here and filming again soon. I think it would be cool to survive out here for a few days living off the land. So if that's something you wanna see, let me know. I've got all year to explore Australia and different countries. So yeah, let me know what animals you want me to film, what places you want me to go. All right, so here's all the Pippies that we got right here. This one right here is the biggest one. Real keen to cook that one up. So you're not actually allowed fires on Fraser Island. So I brought the gas cooker with me for this little trip, and this is what we're gonna be cooking up the Pippies in. Just boiling them in some salt water that I got from down at the beach. But yeah, it is absolutely so hot, especially out in the middle of the day here. So what I thought I'd do is I've actually got an underwater torch, and that creek that I was going through early this morning, the crystal clear one, I'm gonna head down there after dark and go for a night snorkel. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's an absolutely awesome creek, but yeah, let's get this going and cook up these fish. Pippies. Let's get this fire going and cook up these Pippies. And the final big one, chuck that in as well and wait for them to cook up. So how you'll know that these Pippies are ready is when they actually start opening up and coming out of their shell. Obviously, I'd prefer it if you could cook it in a fire. It's so cool chucking them straight in the fire and cooking them up, but you're just not allowed to on this island. Maybe when I'm back on mainland. All right, let's eat them. And that's what we want right there. Eating a foot for dinner. It's got the same sort of taste that mud crab has. It's not bad. And if you get a lot of them, like look, that's the biggest one I got. You can actually get a pretty good feed. But it's cool just knowing that even in a place like this, that may look like a hard place to find food, you can find it. And really, if you were stuck on a deserted island and needed to catch food, there are so many of these Pippies. Millions of them just up the beach, probably about that far under the surface. And there's also freshwater springs coming out of this place that you can drink for water. But yeah, what I'm gonna do now, finish off these Pippies and go find a place that I can camp till later on, and then go for a night snorkel. Let's go. I'm keeping my eye out for dingoes and for places to sleep. So cool to start the video here early this morning and then end it here by sleeping up here in the sand dunes tonight. I think there's a place maybe just up here that we can set up the hammock. And then if we come just down this way, not a bad view to fall to sleep. The ocean all the way down there. What a cool place, what a cool adventure. We're gonna chill up here until it gets dark and yeah, go for a night snorkel. I'll see you guys then. So we just made it down to the creek. I'm already seeing fish swimming around everywhere. We're gonna get in here underneath the surface. I bought my snorkeling gear and see what we can find. So I'm swimming around in this little shallow creek and I no joke just saw a 50 centimeter jungle perch swimming around. This thing is massive. So I was just walking up the beach and I spotted a dark shape cruising way out there. I'm not too sure what it is, but I'm gonna jump in the kayak, head out there and go for a swim with it. So I was just kayaking around and look at this down here. I thought it might have been a big stingray or something at first, but I think I'm gonna get in the water and see what it is. You can see it moving now. It's changed into a completely different shape. Alright, so we're back on the sunny coast now. That Fraser trip was actually from a couple months ago, but I never got around to posting the footage. So what I thought I'd do today to finish off this adventure was come down to this little creek system and attempt to make the deadliest freshwater aquarium in the world. Now, I know a lot more beautiful looking creeks and healthier creeks than this little puddle right here. But one of the amazing things about this stream right here is it holds one of the most venomous fish in the world, and a good population of them at that. The bull route, more commonly known as the freshwater stonefish. It's a small species of fish with highly venomous barbs all the way down its back. And like the saltwater estuary stonefish, which I've caught in plenty of other videos, the pain is said to be excruciating and can last for days if you're stung. So why is there so many stonefish? fish in this little stream right here and not in other places, it would have to be a good food source here. There would have to be lots of shrimp and little fish for these guys to eat. Big shrimp right there. So this is exactly what those stonefish are feeding on in this creek. They're camouflage hunters. That's how they get their name stonefish. So they're sitting there and waiting for a big shrimp like this. This would be a good meal for the stonefish in this creek to come cruising past, whack, strike out, and he's got himself a feed right there. If I was a stonefish, I'd be freaking out right now. But yeah, that's why the stonefish are in here. All right, we'll let you go. Those are pretty big shrimp. Pretty impressive that they've dodged that many stonefish over the years. Just down here is a little one, a freshwater stonefish. That is crazy. There we go. First stonefish. There we go. Just move him into the fish tank. Look at that. The most venomous freshwater fish that we have here in Australia. There we go. Just down there. Freshwater stonefish. He's definitely bigger than the last one we caught, but not as big as they can get. And not as big as the ones that I saw the other night that we're hopefully gonna catch later on. All right, I'll try get on camera. Getting this big fella in. So we got the clear container. Put it over the top. He's kind of in there. He's a big one. There we go. You can see him flapping around in there. All right, we'll get the glass thing underneath him. There we go. Got another one. Take a look at that. Second stonefish. There we go. 2 stonefish in the tank. We've only been walking around for about 10 minutes or so. The first stonefish that we caught was right there on that log. The second one was just up there. We've just found a third stonefish sitting just down here in the shallows in this one little pool. Got another one. Yes. These are like the equivalent of having goldfish as pets here in Australia. Here we go. 3 stonies. The 2 stonefish that are sitting right here, I'm gonna try to get them both in this container, which is gonna be very dangerous. Got them both. 2 stonefish in 1 container. This has been such a cool day actually. This is exactly what I wanted. And I'm still being very careful because the more that I deal with these animals, the more chance I am of getting stung. There's one right there. Sitting just next to that piece of wood. This guy is in a bit of an open pool, so I'm gonna have to be careful that he doesn't go further down that way because when they do take off, I know a lot of these stonefish have been staying still, but they are fast if they want to get moving. We need this guy in the tank. Got such cool colors on him as well. There we go. I think we got him. Yeah, look at him. He's in there. There we go. Got another one. And he's a big fella. And we got him in there. Any touch from any of those spikes down the back or underneath this stonefish will be a trip to the hospital. Big fella going into the tank. After finding that last stonefish, it's been hard to track down a big one, but I've finally found one sitting just behind this little stick right here. If I pull that out, you can probably see his spine sitting right there. This is the biggest one of the day. He's in there. This guy is massive. Look at those spikes on the top right there. There we go. Got him. Just like that. All right, let's go get him back in the tank quickly. Yes. All right, that's the last stonefish we're collecting. This is getting pretty dangerous. All right, so after a few hours, we've made arguably the deadliest freshwater fish tank that you can get here in Australia. Take a look at those fish sitting in there right now. The freshwater stonefish or bull rout. So crazy to think that these fish are just swimming around in a creek like that. There's almost no chance of you not getting stung if you go in the creek that I was walking in today barefoot. So it's good to know that these guys are out here. We're not gonna keep him too long though. We're gonna get him back in the water. All right, so we've just grabbed him. Such a cool little species, but when we're talking venom, these guys aren't actually too bad. If you get stung, you will be in pain for multiple days, but it won't necessarily kill you. So while we were over on Fraser Island, a lady actually came into our campsite who had just got stung by one of the most venomous creatures on earth, the irukandji jellyfish. I don't even know if I can begin to describe how painful that actually is, but it's said to be like getting a kettle, boiling it, and then pouring it on your skin for hours on end. And she went from screaming in pain to being almost non-responsive in front of us. I actually thought she was gonna die in front of me, which is pretty crazy. She ended up getting airlifted to hospital, and she messaged me after that on Instagram saying the only thing that was keeping her going, she wanted to give up, was pouring hot water on the wound. But yeah, absolute champion for surviving that one and having that story to tell you. And thank you so much to the people camping next to us as well. The whole beach that we were camping on was helping her out, so she ended up surviving that, which is pretty cool. Lots of deadly animals here in Australia. This is another one right there. I think they're so cool. We can learn how to coexist with all of them. We're gonna get all these stonefish back in the water, and yeah, see you guys next week on the next adventure. All right, let's get you back in there, buddy.